This is my first of two videos on week 7, task 1. So week 7, task 1, I want uh, to learn why some K-12 schools choose to encourage and or produce online classes for their students and why some do not. So, as always, I'm going to start this off with my own thoughts. Why some do. Some of the reasons why some do, I think, are because every student learns differently. Therefore, online learning is better for some. Credit recovery. This is something both districts I work for do. My main district I work for the main school year does this in the summer for credit recovery, as well as the district that I do summer school in. They do face-to-face, traditional, as well as online. So credit recovery is a good way, or a good reason why some would do that. Cost effective might be a reason. One teacher can teach more students if it's online. Why some do not. Belief that it's not as effective. Whether or not that's true, still could have the belief that it's not as effective. 2 is resources. This is for both the school as well as the community. So if you're in a community where majority of students are in poverty, online classes may just not be practical because the students themselves may not have the tools needed to do online learning. One I can find there is unions fear that it will cost some teachers their jobs. Because if you switch to online, you may have less teachers, therefore some may get laid off. So let's go into the internet, and we will. I don't need these two open. We'll do why some schools are using online learning. Okay, right off the bat, should have thought of this on my own. Flexibility, that is good for credit recovery. Because then the student can continue to have a normal course load through the school itself, as well as be able to recover credits of classes they have failed in the past. The second point is talks about is prepare students for future classes. As I was put in this program, I ended up having to kind of learn everything on my own as I went along. I'd never done an online class before. So if you do it in high school, it's good at helping prepare students for it. And here we go. In some cases, online learning may be the only option to get all the credits they need. Here's this third thing, talks about this promotes higher level thinking since students have to follow directions carefully and take ownership of their learning. Not only does it prepare students for future classes, but a lot of businesses and companies are looking for people who are technology literate. Tab onto that. Prepares future workers to know how to learn online. That's important for is many jobs. You know, you can only be trained to do so much, and there's just small things every now and then you're just not going to know how to do. But you can use the internet to figure it out. So by being able to take classes online, you're better prepared to learn things online on your own when that time comes in the workplace. Alright. Let's keep this one there. Go here. One reason may be is I'm going through this here. About 40% of middle and high school students have expressed interest in online classes. So this way, you're appealing to the learners themselves and how they want the material to be presented. In previous topics, one of the things I had taken notes on and talked about and kind of developed and learned was the idea that, you know, The old school way of learning was you go to class, you get the notes, practice it, go home, practice it more. That's considered you learned it. That worked in the olden days. There was no real alternative. Um, that was actually the preference for many students. Nowadays, it's not necessarily the case. Um, I'm going to move on to a news source. Let's go. Schools using online classes. Benefits of online classes. Convenient, flexible. Alright, hit on those. Let's read the paragraph and see if there's anything interesting more in it. This is new. Online classes allow an easier, direct connection with the instructor. So, what I was talking about is since you communicate with the instructor via email, as opposed to in a big lecture hall or in a classroom with 25 to 30 students. In this manner, you are able to more easily interact with the instructor. It even goes on to talk about eliminating fear of face-to-face contact, which is good. One of the things I've learned through parent-teacher conferences is students are oftentimes afraid to approach the teacher and ask for help, which I find, I think I'm a very friendly, open person that students wouldn't have an issue with. And many of my students do take advantage of that, but some don't. And I think it's just their shy nature. But if you have to eliminate that face-to-face confrontation, or not confrontation, but interaction, that can be a good thing for the students. They might be more willing to ask questions. Also, I do think though that can be a drawback to online learning. It can be a drawback because developing communication skills, in-person communication skills, is an important piece that schools can teach along with everything else that they teach. So, it's got its pluses, its minuses, its ups and downs. Number 5 applies more to colleges than the high schools. Um, 6 and 7, I've already talked about in my notes. The idea of real world skills, lifelong learning. For example, if you're an engineer and you're faced with a problem and you're thinking, it could have been something you've learned, but you haven't used that knowledge in 15, 20 years, and you just simply forgot it, which is very reasonable. Online learning can help you reteach yourself. I already got that in my notes, though. Financial benefits 8. This is a little interesting. Okay, 8 gives a new perspective. If we can go, cost benefits to the student. Yeah, replace computer, internet costs versus gas, parking costs. For some few students, childcare. That is more of a college or post-grad thing. However, special circumstances. We have had students who were pregnant and they had a child, and of course that's going to interfere very dramatically with attending school. Not just necessarily attending school, in the sense of you're pregnant now, you're giving birth, but the student could be out for a couple of weeks just recovering from childbirth. The student could also be out long after that because they may not be able to afford childcare. Childcare cost savings. So the student doesn't actually have to be present at any specific time in a specific place. Student plans on, okay, I'm going to start working on this at 11 a.m. Something happens, okay, deal with what happened. And you say, well, it's lunchtime, they eat lunch, you come back around 1. Well, you want to do it at 11, you do it at 1. Who cares? It's online learning. As long as you meet the deadline, that was all that was important to begin with anyways. And like number 9 already. Yeah, number 9, something that I don't think I could have done in my undergrad. Teaches students to be self-disciplined. Students have to set their own time for study. Students have to set their own time for learning. Students have to set their own time for assignments, practice. It could be a major drawback too. It could be something that ends up getting a major backfire on online learning. Students could procrastinate too much and then find themselves in a hole. For me personally, like I said, I think if I did my undergraduate college studies online, I don't think that I would have been as successful. My self-discipline wasn't really self-discipline. My discipline for undergrad was I had to make it to class because we had login keys and they would know whether or not I was there, and it would cost me credit if I wasn't. So I can put on here, this can go both ways. Students run into issues with self-discipline for learning. There could be a reason why some do not. Um, let's see, there was another thought I had. Now I'm losing it. Hmm. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. 10. Get on to especially for multicultural classes can easily connect to speakers, presenters from far away, international. Okay, I've been going for about 22 minutes. I'm going to pause because I only got 45 minutes per video, so I'm going to pause now, take a 3 to 5 minute break, change out my laundry, and just kind of think about things. So I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Dog wants some attention, so it took a little more time. But I did think about why some do not, for K-12 especially, may not have enough teachers who can teach an online class. My school district in particular, a lot of our teachers are very technologically illiterate. Um, and things like even trying to set up a Blackboard class is incredibly intimidating to them. And then you get the politics involved in there too. It comes back to the union where, is it a part of their job that they're required to be able to do this? Even going cost of training teachers to be able to teach online classes could be an issue as well. Alright, let's try a different search. Let's go. This is college education, but we can see if it can relate to us. Go away. Oops. Alright. Cons. Pros are what we've seen before. Cons um, are things like lack of social interaction, lag time between asking questions and getting responses from the instructor. That can happen in traditional classes too, though, and mandatory self-discipline. Okay. Students 2009 survey from the Department of Education. Students who took 100% online classes. Hold on one second. My dog's barking. Sorry about that. No, he's not done. There we go. No, I think he's quiet for a few minutes. He's looking at me. Did better than students who took 100% face-to-face classes. Students who took a mix of online and traditional did even better. Continue reading. I'll be right back. I gotta do something about the dog. Okay, hopefully he's calm now. As I was last saying, according to the survey, students who took hybrid got the benefits of both worlds. Oops. Let's try another one. Okay. Social benefits. Factors such as age, race, gender, dress, appearance, etc. have no bearing in online learning. Online they may socially and traditional. I want a new source. Access to more resources. Since you have the entire internet. And creative teaching. creative teaching as instructors transfer from traditional format to the online format. They are forced to rethink their lessons and objectives, as well as how the material is presented. Okay, let's go on to drawbacks, weaknesses. The first part, economic reasons, as I mentioned earlier. Here we go, this backs up my computer literacy for instructors. Technology is not 100% reliable. More discussion about the importance of self-discipline. Here is interesting. Presuppose notions that online learning is not as successful as traditional learning can impair the quality of the online class. These would be beliefs from teachers as well as beliefs from administrators. Dialogue and communication dwindle as the class sizes increase. 20 plus is what I mentioned. curriculum. I already talked about that. Alright, let's see what else we got. Online K-12 classes. This provides confirmation of what I was talking about earlier. Provide a way for credit recovery. Consider cost effective. Cons. Some view it as a way to cut corners on spending that hinders student learning, since online learning is not for all students. Okay. Well, here's a good example. Online learning went ahead and saved money because now you do not have to pay for a teacher for only 10 students. Fear that online learning will supplant traditional classes instead of supplement them. And the quote right here. Goes on to say that teacher jobs are eliminated by doing the online classes. Same thing with Florida. Florida's planning on doing it, but hasn't yet. Here's an interesting claim. Claim that online learning is easier than traditional Students are not as challenged online environment. Let's see what some posts are. Ooh, I like this one here. Part of a teacher's job is motivating students to learn. And you lack that in online. This isn't a comment. I'm running low on time. Well, now it's getting heated. Alright, it's getting a little heated debate here. My time on my recording is almost up, so I'm going to stop it now. Most of my focus on these notes has been why schools do it. Next time I'm going to focus heavily on why some schools do not. I did have some mix of both at the end, but I will make an effort to focus on why some do not in my next one. Alrighty, until next time.